Everybody meet Token.
The black liberal woman has been coddled to the point where she is essentially become an infant. She has become a child, one who does not suffer the consequences of their actions, one who is consistently and perpetually made to feel okay about their terrible decisions. You know, when you're dealing with an infant, with a child, with a toddler, you look to correct that child. However, there's still a lot of leeway as far as what that child can get away with. Well, this is exactly what has happened with the modern or the liberal feminist black woman. More than any other demographic, this is the one group who can get away with everything. And instead of having the backlash that most people should get, they are celebrated for it.
This is the one demographic that can get away with everything. And instead of having the backlash that they should get, they get celebrated for. The one demographic you, fuckface, can think of. You token. Oh, I got time today. Let's do this. Yes, indeed. YouTube. It's me, Drill Sergeant. And I got something special for you on Halloween. What's happening there? I got some of the craziest, some of the stupidest, and some of the scariest FAFO moments that we've seen this year. So I decided to come out here somewhere around my neighborhood. We got a, yeah. These people go all out for Halloween here. And when I say FAFO, I'm talking about the MAGA numbnuts, the evil, disgusting people out there who voted against their own interests, you know, who think everybody else is beneath them. The ones they think they can step on and then got stepped on. And it's going to start with the one that started it all for us. This one got over 800,000 views on the first version. And then the update came and got like 1 million views. So I'm going to play it again. We're going to do a little commentary. I'll be back in the studio. I just wanted to say happy Halloween. Don't get too scared because these FAFO people are... Bruh.
What are you all gonna do now that you have no Section 8, no food stamps, no EBT, no nothing? What are you gonna do? I guess you're gonna have to get up off your ass and pull yourself up out of bootstraps and work. You know, work. Yeah, get a job. I think it's absolutely hilarious that some of the lifetime long people that, you know, have lived off the Section 8 food stamps and all of this free governmental assistance and have taken no action to try to better their lives but live off of the government. I think it's absolutely hilarious that you're getting a real life lesson in adulthood. I do. I don't feel bad for you because there's some of us Americans who pay taxes and we don't ever receive any of those benefits, and some of us have to work 1, 2, 3 real jobs to provide for our families. So guess what? It's your turn to either pay back or become an adult. What kind of jobs are you going to get? I wonder. What kind of job are you going to get? Do you have any life skills? Yeah. Karma. You can't continue to use and abuse your fellow Americans' tax dollars and everything from the government. Now you got to be a big adult and get a job. Or use some birth control.
What up, Kristin Rinaldi? From the beautiful state of New Jersey, proud employee of Tanner Healthcare Solutions. Oh, you didn't know I put in that work too, huh? Of course you didn't. I'm black. How could I? Yeah, we got the racist undertones. Yeah, we got the entitled Karen overtones. You thought we couldn't find you, but be honest with yourself. Who can forget a face like that? Ew. Gross. But I'm just not here to throw ad hominems at you. I'm just not here to talk about your fugly face and your disgusting home that was unclean and ill-kept. I'm here to talk about your heart, which is dirtier and blacker and worse. Maybe about what it means to be an American. what it means to have empathy for others, because becoming a MAGA in this MAGA age means you have to turn that button off. You have become a sociopath politically in the name of your orange Mussolini. In the name of your 2 cans of spray tan Sam God, you have built a golden statue to indecency. You're willing to throw people away because they're not human to you unless they're like you. So, Kristin Rinaldi, yeah, I'm here to work. You should feel happy about that. That's what you wanted, isn't it? This is the karma you're looking for, Karen? Unfortunately, I've decided to educate you. Listen up, Kristin Rinaldi. Unlike you, I'm not a sociopath. I wish no harm upon you. But everybody else who's watching this, you say to yourself, Joe Sargent, you said you weren't going to do any more of this ridiculous back and forth or these, constantly reminding us of the news of the day. You're about power and education and the blah, blah, blah. That's true. Not this time. I'm having fun this time. It's good to take a break every now and then. No education here. Just a roasting. Just a coming to Jesus moment for this victory-faced hoodlum, this indecent, incompassionate, inhumane, filthy, disgusting piece of trash known as Kristin Rinaldi. In 3 parts. Enjoy, YouTube!
Why Kristin Rinaldi is a disgusting sack of whose mother and father failed her, and all of us, in her upbringing.
Part 1, Kristin Rinaldi, is your mother and your father failed you. Your father is a failure. Your father is supposed to teach you how to love. And by showing love to his wife and to his children, especially for girls, when they grow up, they learn what to expect. Obviously, in your unhinged ranting about who deserves what and who hasn't pulled themselves up by the bootstraps and what you believe you are obviously entitled to and others aren't, and your judgment on people who you know nothing about. They have failed you. Somehow they taught you that what you got and what you gained somehow is all about you. You've never, ever had to think about someone else. You've never had to see a person get laid off. You've been living in your gated community too long, and your mother and your father were supposed to give you the tools you needed to become a compassionate, empathetic adult as you grow up, and they failed you because you're a failure of a decent human being. You never thought once that if somebody got laid off because they happened to go through a, let's say, pandemic, that it might be hard to come back. All the while, when you say you have to work 2 or 3 jobs to make ends meet, you decide to beat up on the person with no power and act like having to work 2 or 3 jobs to make ends meet is the right thing to do, the right way to be, and never look up at your masters who piss on you and you turn around with your mouth open to catch it. You never thought maybe that's the problem. Not once, Kristin Rinaldi. Your entitlement is a brain damage. The fact that you look at people who have nothing in the same video where you espouse having to work 3 jobs just to make ends meet and say that the people who have nothing are the ones stealing from you or are taking money from the taxpayer. You've paid taxes on 3 separate jobs just to make ends meet and never asked why. Your parents have failed you because they've grown a hateful bitch. And nobody said anything about you being ugly. That's just for my amusement. The truth is, you're ugly on the inside. You're dark-hearted. You're blackened and burnt on the inside, Kristin Rinaldi. You're a disgusting human being. You're filthy. You actually think that the people who don't have anything
It's okay to hate on because they're black or other than or less than. It's all the same to you. Maybe if you see who they really are, you may change your mind. For instance, did you know that those same people who are about to lose those benefits, many of them are elderly? They can't pick themselves up by the bootstraps. You didn't think of that because you were too busy reveling in the hatred and the hurting of black and brown people. That overcame your thought process. That overcame your logic center. From 2022 to 2025, those who've needed housing assistance, 56% of renters are white. The majority of recipients were white, 43%, followed by Hispanic 26% and black 23% when you're talking about food stamps. Oh, maybe you didn't know that. It shouldn't have mattered. Many of the same people who are losing their benefits are not only elderly, but disabled. You never thought about that. Many of them are veterans. Would you have used that hip-hop song? Would you have turned up that ugly-ass nose of yours and that Pillsbury Doughboy face of yours? Would you have scrunched it like you did, like the fucking rat that you look like? If you'd known that, hopefully that freeze isn't still there when you need it for your unemployment check. You disgusting piece of shit. You f***ing ogre. Part 2.
Why Kristin Rinaldi, like every MAGA Republican test tube experiment, doesn't understand the connected nature of humanity.
The reason why your parents have failed you, you f***ing filthy ogre, the reason why is because they failed to communicate properly to you the interconnectedness of life. Because you think that little lake that you reside on keeps you safe. Because you think that stupid gate keeps you safe. Because you think that somehow you on a hill can look down at the plebeians. And even though your community is nice, your state is one of the worst in crime because of poverty. You fail to care about people who are struggling, who could use the help to get out of that situation, so you're okay with them losing it. Black folks like me, we're upset, but not that surprised. We've always had less. We've always been on the ground. We've always been disenfranchised. We found a way to make it happen and work around it. Unfortunately, some of those ways ended up being less than savory. Kristin Rinaldi. A safe society, an educated society, one that has a safety net and working opportunities means one that is less likely to break into your home. Kristin Rinaldi. Break down that gate with the pitchfork, and you don't even deserve it. You know why? Because you got to work 3 jobs to make ends meet, and instead of talking about the oligarchs who made it that way for you, who pay you so little, who've made rent and ownership so high due to their greed and mismanagement of funds in the state where you live, instead of them, you blame the people who have nothing to do with you. How they're taking your taxes. Have you ever seen them take your taxes and drive a car? Have you ever seen them do anything with the money that you pay in taxes? The people you pay taxes to are not them. They're homeless. The reason why you work 3 jobs to make ends meet is because the people who told you to hate them are pissing on you, and you love it. That's why your parents are failing you. They're failures. And you're a fucking failure because you don't see it. You will because the interconnectedness of life. Let Daddy Doug teach you. If you don't care for your neighbor will not care for you. If you don't make sure that the society around you has safety nets, they will bounce up with the legs of rabbits and ransack your shit one day, very soon, more than likely, because there's gonna be a lot of poor people, a lot. All those people you're laughing at while you show your face on TikTok, Kristin Rinaldi. That's the only reason why I'm not giving your address out, even though I know where you went to college, where you live now. That wasn't the point of this. The point of this was to show you that I go to work. Do you?
Part 3. Why Tanner, Kristi's workplace, doesn't know who she really is.
Okay, I was going a bit harsh. I'm sorry. I know I brought it down a little bit. We're supposed to be having fun with this instant karma, aren't we? Aren't we, guys? Listen, that last part was just for Kristi. That was for her. I needed her to realize the depths of her depravity, and she may never. But maybe we taught her something. The truth is, I'm 100% sure that an upstanding, faith-filled, compassionate company like Tanner National Revenue Cycle Services and Consulting Firm would never have hired someone like Kristin Rinaldi if they knew how disgusting and non-compassionate and unempathetic she was. There's no way that a company as decent, with a name so renowned in the medical community as Tanner, T-A-N-Y-R, based in Texas, that they would have hired the most indecent, inhumane, filthy garbage like Kristin Rinaldi if they knew who she was beforehand. I feel bad for them. You should too. I think that you need to find out and let them know if they know that Kristin Rinaldi works for them. If they don't know that and who she really is, you should bring it up. These decent, upstanding, as far as I can tell, decent, upstanding pillar of the healthcare community needs to be represented well. Listen to this, guys. Our story. After over 25 years of revenue cycle experience serving in management roles for a hospital group, financial institution, specialty laboratory, home infusion and physician-based infusion management company, and specialty pharmacy, our founder, Rodney Wright, and I vouch for him. He's a decent guy. Rodney Wright is upstanding and decent, and there's no way, just wait till you read the rest of this, that he would know the type of person Kristin Rinaldi was and have it represent this company out here in the wild like that. Tanner, T-A-N-Y-R, as we are now simply known, is led by industry experts in every revenue cycle facet of infusion and specialty pharmacy, doing that type of thing, working with that type of sensitive information, people's pharmacy information, home infusion information. There is no way that they would ever agree to have a person with the empathy level on 0 handling that information. Would you want, especially if the people who were just being kicked off of Medicare were part of that revenue cycle for the company that Tanner's working for? Do you want her knowing who's paying through Medicare for their medicines, for their pharmaceutical needs? Do you want Kristin Rinaldi on that information? No. Rodney Wright wouldn't do that. I know he wouldn't. He's a stand-up guy. Leading teams for companies whose revenues exceed well over $1 billion annually allows us to take what we have learned on a large scale and apply it to the smallest of providers. With heart. These guys don't just want to work with the big guys. They work with the small providers too. How many people on welfare and TANF belong to those small providers? How many people use Medicare that Kristin Rinaldi laughs and scoffs at and degrades them like they're not human, how many of those people give money to the companies and customers that Tanner Solutions, Tanner Revenue Cycle Service and Consulting Firm deal with? You know how I know that they didn't know that someone like Kristin is in their ranks? Because watch this. This is the kicker. This is the last paragraph. All of our work is performed in the United States by a stellar team based across the country, in every time zone. Our commitment to our team is the same as our commitment to our customers. We will be loyal, hardworking, dedicated to excellence, act with honesty and integrity, and live out our faith. There's no way on God's green earth that Tanner, T-A-N-Y-R, that Tanner National Revenue Cycle Services and Consulting Firm would live out their faith in their work and hire a degraded, ill-fated, ill-socialized, disgusting piece of filth. You can find them on Tanner.com. You can find them on LinkedIn, T-A-N-Y-R. You can find them on LinkedIn. They're on Indeed. Healthcare Solutions, Carriers and Employment. You can find Tanner there. That's what they're listed under. Healthcare Solutions, going by faith, fulfilling their faith in their work. I believe Tanner is a great company that believes what they say. You should notify them that there's somebody representing them out here that doesn't seem to fit the mold of their decent company. You can find them on Glassdoor. Tanner Healthcare Solutions Reviews. Glassdoor, Tanner Healthcare Solutions Reviews.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. That rat-faced bitch, she had it coming. I had to go in. But in something that I've almost never seen before, people. Look at that. That's crazy. I love that. See my man drinking a beer, the skeleton? That was me after that show. An unprecedented move. You guys, the next day, you found her. Oh, yeah. And her place of business wasn't too happy. Let's look at it.
Good and decent people of YouTube, we got her. Yes, you may remember that a little over 24 hours ago, I put up a video about Kristin Rinaldi. Remember her? Gross, I know. In less than 24 hours, we had 60,000 views. And every single one of you that left a comment, it buoyed my heart. But not just that. At the end of that video, I said, maybe you guys should call her employer. Turns out she works for Tanner Healthcare Solutions. I put that out there. Maybe you guys should let that upstanding company know that they accidentally, obviously, hired a dirt stain like this. A disgusting, gross, unempathetic, indecent human being like this who laughs at people's pain. What am I talking about? Just a couple clips. This is what she did.
What are you all gonna do now that you have no Section 8, no food stamps, no EBT, no nothing? What are you gonna do? I guess you're gonna have to get up off your ass and pull yourself up out of bootstraps and work. You know, work.
Yeah, and she also said this.
Live off of the government. I think it's absolutely hilarious that you're getting a real life lesson in adulthood. I do. I don't feel bad for you because there's some of us Americans who pay taxes. Do you have any life skills? Yeah. Karma Karma. You can't continue to use and abuse your fellow Americans' tax dollars and everything from the government. Now you gotta be a big adult and get a job. Or use some birth control.
You hear the disdain in the voice, the hate? Yeah, that's her. You guys made the calls, sent the emails, gave the text messages, and told Tanner that they need to live up to what they have on their website, their faith and their decency. They put that on their website, and I believed them. And they acted swiftly and justly and with honor. She's fired.
Ms. Rinaldi is no longer employed by or associated with Tanner. Our company in no way endorses, agrees with or supports the views expressed by Ms. Rinaldi in her recent social media posts on Section 8 entitlements. Thank you.
She's fired. They let her go. Now, why am I laughing? I'm not mean-spirited. I'm not dark-hearted. I'm not. What I am is aware that the only reason why she made that video in the first place is because she thought she could, because she felt entitled to, because she thought it was funny that people would go without, kids would go hungry, and people who she felt was undeserving, all of them. The outpouring of messages I got, we're at almost, 80,000 now? Because you cared. It's not just spite. It's not just because I feel she deserves it because she's hateful and indecent. It has a bigger purpose. And I found this out in my comment section with you guys. When Kristin Rinaldi said this,
What are you all gonna do now that you have no Section 8, no food stamps, no EBT, no nothing? What are you gonna do? I guess you're gonna have to get up off your ass and pull yourself up out of bootstraps and work. You know, work.
that condescending voice, that condescending, disgusting attitude, that lumping together of all people who deserve to be thrown away like trash. She was talking to Barbara Centeny, 1011 in my comment section, who said, I was working at 65, lost job due to unreliable car, but now my Social Security is in danger. Money, myself, and my husband work to receive. I live with my brother because we can't afford a place alone. Trump is the worst thing that ever happened to America. This is not a black-white issue. This is a rich-poor issue. And I don't believe that. This is a black-white issue. But it is also a rich-poor issue because the rich use that black-white divide to make people like Kristin Rinaldi feel better and have someone to hate rather than look up at the oligarchs who don't pay her what she's worth, more than likely. If you can put yourself in Barbara Centeny 1011 shoes, how humiliated do you feel? How humiliated do you feel? You're living with your brother, you're married, you've been working all your life, and Kristin Rinaldi laughs in your face and dances the work song.
Work.
How much does that hurt? You're already down. You're already kicked. And someone comes and laughs in your face while you're down. Barbara Centeny's story reminded me why I'm here. So I'm glad she's fired. And I'm hoping that she understands how easy it is to go work when she's in the unemployment line. Unfortunately, if they still have that government freeze she was laughing at, now she's one of the degregates. And she may not get that unemployment check. She was talking to Strella22, my comment section. I got laid off in March when Louisiana got a new governor, and I'm still struggling to find a job. I'm 60 years old. First time I've ever admitted that. And I got my first job at 14, probably worked double the years and could work circles around her. And she would be working under me for sure, if I would have hired her at all. Plus, who's going to hire a 60-year-old instead of a 30-year-old now? I'll tell you who. Nobody. I was denied unemployment for some reason. I still haven't gotten a straight answer yet. When Kristin Rinaldi laughed in her face, put yourself in her shoes. Who's going to hire a 60-year-old? I thank you for your stories, Strella22. It reminds me why I made that video. Because it wasn't benign. She was laughing and taunting someone who knows that of no fault of her own, an entitled prick like Kristin Rinaldi would get her job just because she's 30 years younger, and especially now that they've gotten rid of the DEI so they can discriminate against age. Oh yeah, Kristin Rinaldi is going to be walking in that unemployment line, and I will be reveling in it because it'll be the first time that she's ever learned that she's not better than anyone else. And when she inflicts pain on others who are already feeling that pain, to try to destroy them and crush them further, she's filthy, and I'm glad she's fired. She was talking to Sonia Harrison, 1016, in my comment section. I had a heart attack. Sometimes I can hardly breathe. I'm single, and that is the only reason I needed assistance. At 73, after all the taxes I've paid, I have no problem getting some assistance, and she's damn right, because that's who I fight for. It's not benign. It's not benign. The pride that these people feel they're human beings who've gone through things and have to, when they happen across someone like this filthy, disgusting Kristin Rinaldi.
What are you all gonna do now that you have no Section 8, no food stamps, no EBT, no nothing? What are you gonna do? I guess you're gonna have to get up off your ass and pull yourself up out of bootstraps and work. You know, work.
How does that make them feel? That's how I made her feel. If you have any questions morally about what I did and how I did it, let this be a comfort to you. People like Jim Phillips, 6209. I am physically unable to work, and I cannot work anymore. And the reason why that's all caps is because he felt that humiliation in her words. That hurts. It's not benign. What about people like Lescher smilingly trying 1436? I'm paralyzed and survive off disability. I work, but it isn't enough to get by. I have no idea if I'm going to be able to pay next month's bill if our benefits don't come through. But you tell her to work. I don't feel anything for you.
Live off of the government. I think it's absolutely hilarious that you're getting a real life lesson in adulthood. I do. I don't feel bad for you.
What about people like DD Bar 7639, who says, wow, guess you told me I'm 60. My husband and I live on his Social Security. We collect food stamps as well. First of all, girly, I love that. Love the spunk. We paid into SS our whole lives because we live in an unlivable world. We collect the equivalent of 30 cents per day per person. Can you live on 30 cents per day on food stamps? What about people like Kiddo 2438? She looks like a pterodactyl. How did that get in there? This is supposed to be serious. This is a good one. Lee G. George, right? MAGA folks, please don't mistake tolerance for weakness. Just because you have a bunch of incels carrying tiki torches, that's no army, and that's why I'm here.
Listen, I was gonna go back to the studio, but I like this wooded area right here. It's a nice place to introduce the next guy. This guy. It's hard to say that, we could find the place where he worked because he works for himself. He's a 2-bit wannabe comedian, dumbass, fool, who thought that joking about killing Mexicans and immigrants was a funny joke to tell until we got him.
Ladies and gentlemen, meet 3-time cancer survivor and founder of Christmas for Kids, a charity organization that works with a slew of hospitals to bring presents at Christmas time for kids with cancer, Zack Rushing. Here you go.
My amazing state of Mississippi has proposed a bill that is supposed to be passed tonight, that they put $1,000 bounty on every illegal. What? Your boy's about to get paid. Okay, somebody better call Astro for it and let them know I'm coming because I'm upgrading to an F-350. Are you kidding me right now? It is time to suit up, boys. We just thought damn hunting season was over with. We got to get ready. No, I got them all. I got the Berettas. Get the Benellis. Not the Supernovas. Get the Black Eagles. Yeah, we need efficiency. You can leave the duck chokes in them. They all flock together.
Wow. Wow, YouTube. Now that's unexpected. You see, I'm going to go out on a limb here and give me some leeway, but I'm going to predict that the charity Christmas for kids, the presents that you get are a little bit different if you're an undocumented kid with cancer. Huh? I mean, maybe when Johnny gets the toy Megatron, or maybe when Susie gets the Easy Bake Oven, Enrique gets the Desert Eagle and a paddy wagon. Looks like the Christmas present is what happens when you drop him off wherever he's supposed to be dropped off to pick up your money. Oh, you didn't hear that part. No, there's more to what this guy says. This pillar of the community.
My amazing state of Mississippi has proposed a bill that is supposed to be passed tonight, that they put $1,000 bounty on every illegal. What? Your boy's about to get paid. Okay, somebody better call Astro for it and let them know I'm coming, because I'm upgrading to an F-350. Are you kidding me right now? It is time to suit up, boys. We just thought damn hunting season was over with. We got to get ready. We got shit. Hang on. What? No, I got them all. I got the Berettas. Get the Benellis. Not the Supernovas. Get the Black Eagles. Yeah, we need efficiency. You can leave the duck chokes in them. They all flock together. It's okay. Go ahead. Look, y'all. They are doing this 100%. This is a real fucking thing. They are going to pay citizens. They are basically deputizing our asses. Okay? They are going to pay citizens to get a damn $1,000 a head. Hang on, I got to get ready to go. I just heard about this. It's fitting to happen. $1,000 a head. What they're doing, all right? Already got Rocket down there at the warehouse. He's getting the enclosed trailer for transportation purposes. He's also getting the shrimp trawls, the cast nets, and the lassos. Was ill prepared. So this is not okay. Because here's the thing: they're a spooky individual. They really are. You got to be there before they get there. You can't just show up while they already in there. They're gonna spook on you. They're gonna flare. You got to get in there before they do it. All right. Hang on. What? Y'all, it's about to go down. Your boy's about to get fucking paid, okay? We got to do a little bit of research in order to figure out where exactly I have to bring them in order to get paid. But I got my phone charger. I got it ready to go in case I got to keep refreshing the page to see if this damn bill passes and shit. But if they do, I need to know where to bring them. And I do accept Cash App, PayPal, Zelle, or cash money on the damn barrelhead. Shit's about to go down. Are you kidding me? Mississippi done come up with a whole new damn season. I'm gonna have to attack it a little bit differently, but at the same time, it's hunting. We finna get after it, all right? Shit.
Now that's interesting, YouTube. That is interesting. I'm going to break it down for you because I know you're conflicted. I was conflicted. Number one, this is a comedian. Let me show you here. If you want to check this out, www.zackrushinglive.com. That's his comedy website. Go check that out. Leave a couple reviews there if you'd like. But as a comedian, is he just joking? Who is this guy? Well, I'd say once you start talking about the kind of weapons and ammunition you're going to use in this roundup, and the zip ties, and the paddy wagon that you're going to throw him into, the joke kind of lands a little flat for me, YouTube. What do you think? Especially knowing that even if he is just joking, the people that listen to him, because he has millions of viewers, how dangerous is that, do you think? You see, you may have recognized the face, you may recognize the name. Zack Rushing was a nobody, a talentless comic. He still is, but now he's got a little fame because of a little thing he did called the Black Cookout. He said it himself.
That's when my buddy that I play football with, who invited me to come to this cookout. And that went stupid viral. I think it had 760,000 shares, 1.3 billion views. Like it was way up there. I was already on a grande status on that one. And I was checking my messenger. I got a message from Facebook said, "Hey, look, you may have a knack for this. I'm your new Facebook manager. You need to create a business page."
Right. See, that's how he got big. That's when it got big for him, because people of color, black people, gave him a pass, laughed with him in his ignorance. We said, you know what? This guy's not that bad. He's willing to call himself out. But there's something in there now with context. There's something in that original post that I'd like to point out to you so that you don't feel bad as we flame this guy and call him out, so that you don't feel bad as you go to BBB Outdoors and review it in the way that you should. When you go to his comedy website and review it in the way that you should, I want to make sure that you understand that you're doing the right thing. So let's break down how he got big.
About a week ago, get a call from a buddy of mine. Play football together. Says, "Hey, buddy, I want you to come to a cookout." Hell, you ain't got to hit me in the face with a whip mop. I like cookouts. So I show up to the cookout. All right. As I step out of my pick-em-up truck, I realize that the only 3 white things at this cookout is the salt shaker, the napkins, and me. All right. As I'm walking up, I am being greeted by his grandma and grandpa and his great-grandma and grandpa and his 47 cousins. All right, which there's no way for me to remember all these people's names. Anyway, you damn right I'm coming back, because that's the best damn barbecue I've ever had in my life. I don't know if you ever been to All Black Cookout, but I'm gonna tell you something. If you get the invitation, you better take that shit, because that is the best food you ever gonna get and the nicest damn people. I was scared shitless. I ain't gonna lie. I'm a big guy. I was acting like a little bitch. I didn't know what was happening. But at the same time, that's the most fun and some of the best people I've ever been around in my entire life. I'm going back next week. Bet. I told him, I said, y'all need me to bring something like some ice, because I ain't trying to cook with y'all. Y'all want some ice? Or like some, you want me to go get my little cousin Kyle that wears monster hats and shit and bring him? You know, so he'll feel at home. He got white beaters and stuff. What y'all need? They told me I couldn't bring nothing but myself, me, and I, which I will be there. I'm white, not stupid. I ain't pissing nobody off. Shit.
That's funny. That's funny, man. Really funny. And you know, looked at it from the lens of somebody who's had some personal change. Black people everywhere reacted to it. Look at this. We loved it. We gave him the pass because we thought maybe it came from a place of personal change, deep understanding. But now, seeing who you are, what you really are, you see, Mama T's cookout was you using black people as pawns to make money. You saw him say it himself. No wonder you don't have a problem with black people, but you did. Now, in the light of who you are, I realize that you just a punk-ass bitch that was scared of your own shadow because you thought that all black people was thugs and violent until you met them.
But I ain't gonna piss nobody off. You gotta understand, at this point, I am in survival mode. I am not pissing not one person off at this cookout. I do whatever they tell me to do. If they want me to stand on my head and blow bubbles out of my ass, I will do it. Don't hurt me. We're gonna get in the nicest damn people. I was scared shitless. I ain't gonna lie. I'm a big guy. I was acting like a little bitch. I didn't know what was happening. But
just like all MAGA nuts, until it affects you or you know it personally, you stereotype and you don't give a damn. Tell me, Zack Rushing, after the cookout, and you were stuffed full and happy after being served by black women everywhere, and of course, not getting murdered by the grace of God, because you know how those people are. I wonder, does Mama T know that this is what you think of them?
Trip. Oh, look at it. Hey, buddy, you want to show? Hey, hang on a minute. Hey, Big Daddy, come here. Hey, you want to show everybody your trick? Hey, be a Democrat. Be a Democrat. Oh, look at you learning how to beg for stuff that you didn't work for. Here you go, buddy. He did. Here, come here, man. He did this all on his own the first.
Does she know that that's what you think of her? Huh? Does that black family know that that's what you think of them? Dogs begging. Maybe since the only way you can actually find in yourself to be a decent person to another race or culture is having to go there, be scared of them for 3 hours, and then realize that they're not what you thought they were. Have you ever been to a Mexican cookout? Maybe your racist ass will find out that getting them with love, instead of guns and zip ties, eating some of their food and meeting some of their families, can make you some more money. It's better than counting your ammunition and putting on face paint, because those Mexican animals are spooky. They spook easy.
Was ill prepared. So this is not okay. Because here's the thing: they're a spooky individual. They really are. You got to be there before they get there. You can't just show up while they already in there. They're gonna spook on you. They're gonna flare.
That turns you on, doesn't it? You love that. You live for that, Zack Rushing. You disgusting, filthy piece of shit. I don't care how many fake or real charities you run. It won't make up for the amount of people that you've turned and given a permission structure to be gross and violent because they trust you. It won't change the amount of black people who gave you a pass because they didn't know that you thought Mama T was this. Show it again.
Oh, look at you learning how to beg for stuff that you didn't work for. Here you go, buddy.
As a matter of fact, Zack Rushing, owner of BBB Outdoors, whose charity is sponsored by people like Pepsi, Buffalo Wild Wings, who give their name to something that you do because they think you're a good person and you're good at faking it. I wonder how many of those black people do you see just like those dogs, huh? Great to be around, Zack, but not fully human beings, begging for everything they didn't work for, and they're put here for your amusement. How many of them do you see like that dog? How many of those black friends, Zack, do you think saw you get giddy at the chance to go lynch some Mexicans? I doubt it. I doubt it. All the love they showed you, you learned nothing. So we're going to teach it to you. I call bullshit, Zack. You used them, and you think they're dogs when you left. While you were there, you thought they were murderous, rampaging N-words. But because they fed you and treated you like a human being with decency that you didn't deserve, you found it in your heart to make a nice joke about it, and they made you the most money that you've ever made in one video. All of the people who shared it were black. Happy to welcome you in, and you learned nothing. Ready to go lynch some more Mexicans because they didn't invite you to the cookout. But they can sure make you some more money, huh, Zack? Oh, you about to get rich with your face paint. Go spook those animals, those brownies. Here's the last thing, YouTube. I want to make sure that while you are review bombing BBB Outdoors, review bombing ZackRushingLive.com, and while you are calling up his sponsors that you see in the picture to ensure that they know what type of charity this guy's running, who's getting the presents and who's not, and what type of presents they're getting. Is it a trolley truck or a bullet? And you find out that the Zack Rushing Foundation, whatever that does, at 228-392-0076, 9337B W Oak Lawn Road, Biloxi, Mississippi, 39532. While you're informing these people, the only reason why, like all other MAGA numbnuts, Zack Rushing has a foundation, the only one that we know actually does something and has a mission statement, is because he had cancer. That's why he's so forthcoming with the presents for kids with cancer. Like all MAGA, the only reason why he likes black people all of a sudden and thinks they're cool and funny is because they fed him and gave him money and supported his cause. Like all MAGA, only when it affects him does it matter. That's why you're going to be review bombing. That's why you're going to introduce yourself to all of those companies that he owns and to the people who co-own them with him and all of the sponsors while you ask them, because I don't believe that they know this Zack Rushing.
Now, luckily for us, someone has decided to give us a little fitness court. Obviously, it hasn't been used very often, but I swear to you, I'm going to be using it. The main reason why is because I don't want to get called out like this guy. This guy, FAFO'd himself. I mean, well, he pissed himself. Yeah, there's 2 videos there, but I just added them together, so I'm just going to play you that version. Yeah, he pisses himself. He couldn't run very fast. He needed to be here. He needed one of these. Stay working out, people. Get your muscles up. Get your endurance up. Don't piss yourself like this guy did.
YouTube, remember this racist prick? He's back.
He should have just complied. He is the reason he got punched in the face.
Uh-huh. And who he's talking about is this guy. This young man right here, you can read the caption, punched in the face and then brutalized, beat down, horrifically. I'm not even going to show it to you because he asked for a supervisor because he was pulled over for no reason. Cops got mad and beat him down. Racist. And that was his response. Imagine the beauty and the karma of seeing immediately after our dummy, racist, ignorant, buffoon, MAGA personnel said that, the internet found him being chased by the cops, tased, and pissing his pants.
He's back here.
I'm here. Jesus. I'm here. Yep, turn around. Okay. I'm on. I'm done. On your belly. Yeah, hold on, wait. I'm peeing. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You're good. It's all good. I'm peeing. They're there. I'm peeing. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm peeing. Okay. I'm peeing. I can't stop peeing. Yep. I'm so sorry. I'm wetting myself. You're good. Okay. Ooh. Oh, I'm so peeing.
Why don't you stop, bud? You guys in the door.
I got scared. I'm sorry.
You got scared from the police?
Yeah, I got scared. I'm sorry.
All right.
No, it's my fault, not you.
Okay. Yeah.
All I saw was like, you told you on my contract, you just what?
Oh yeah, you locked up. Okay.
Like what?
Yeah.
Whew.
Just you gotta check behind that tree because the first time he came out there, he was doing something behind that tree.
Do we need to update it? What's that?
Me, yeah, both of us.
That was him appearing to piss himself when the cops arrived.
Guys, I'm peeing.
His name is Johnny Lescher, and he's Johnny Lescher 1 on TikTok, and he has another one too, I don't remember. But I dismantle him in epic fashion. Right around the time when Trump was still talking about 90 days of tariffs, and then, no more tariffs, and then bringing them back again, destroying the economy and getting people who were playing games in the stock market rich at the same time. Yeah, right around then, this guy was doing his thing months and months ago, and I dismantled him. And I thought you should see that too, because that may even be more important. Why he's used, how he's used, and why he's a useful tool, especially for racists and MAGAites. Enjoy this one. What's up, YouTube? Drill Sergeant here. And yeah, that was a long intro, but it was funny as hell. I laughed my ass off. That's called FAFO. I got some more for you. We're going to start this one right where I'm talking about Trump's inadequacies as a businessman, human being, father, husband, and friend. And how Johnny Lescher is used to back him up. Let's go ahead and start that now, shall we? Enjoy. And he's bragging about all the people calling him and all the other countries kissing his ass because he's so smart. Well, he's a narcissist. He's an idiot, emotionally deficient, mentally deficient, abused as a child, neglected, and has grown up to become the monster, Cheeto, 2 cans of spray tan Sam, breakfast cereal brain that he is. But the reason why, YouTube, the reason why he can do this, he can go 90-day pause again for the 5th time, 4th time, ruin the economy, crash the markets are up and down, volatile, is because of people like this. Meet Johnny Sherwin, YouTube. Now you see, what Johnny Sherwin does is he goes out and actually gives everybody plausible deniability for their racism, for their hatred, for their buffoonery, for their lack of curiosity, for their choices, their bad choices. As the economy is ruined and they realize internally that voting for this buffoon may have been wrong, Johnny is there to step in and say, no, don't give up the faith. Don't give up the faith. You're all right. You didn't do it because of racism. You didn't do it because you're a fool. Here, I'm going to give you some excuses so that you can feel better about your bad decisions. That's Johnny's job. And we're going to take 3 or 4 examples. We're going to take 3 or 4 examples, and I'm going to roast him because he's growing and he's infecting the mind of decent human beings. But at least we can help them out. What to look for. So the first thing I want to start with is this gem. Now, this time when Trump does a 90-day pause and ruins the economy the next 90 days from now, it'll be this kind of economic genius, this kind of economic forward thinking that Johnny provides that allows him to do that. Check it out.
Lost a lot of gains that you could have had during this record run-up under Joe Biden.
David, I'm going to be real. I can't figure out whether you don't understand how the stock market works or you just like lying to your audience. Because yeah, under Biden, the S&P 500 went up 55%. Dow went up just over 39%. And the NASDAQ went up nearly 46%. Now, if you didn't know anything about the stock market, you'd be like, fuck yeah, Biden did an amazing job. Except those increases in the Dow and the NASDAQ, they were the worst returns since George Bush's second term. Those S&P 500 gains, they were the smallest gains since Barack Obama's second term. And the worst part is that Biden started his presidency with stocks down because of COVID. So he literally got a starting point that was really low and then turned in some of the worst returns in the 21st century. Everybody knows the stock market generally always goes up, but the amount it went up under Biden was dog shit, and you know it.
Johnny, you unserious, lying sack of shit. What you did, Johnny, was completely overlook and jump over the point being made by David Pakman and then proceed to bend over faithfully and assume the position for your dungeon master, Donald Orange Trump. So what I'm going to do your audience's service. Let's look again at what David Pakman was saying and then talk about why you're a heinous liar due to your response.
Lost a lot of gains that you could have had during this record run-up under Joe Biden.
David, I'm going to be real.
The statement was, you were given a lot of gains and you've lost them all. Instead of engaging the point, the topic. Johnny, what you did was say, well, I'm just going to put the fact that he's right over here on the shelf and put a straw man in front of my audience so that they don't have to go to sleep at night and think about their bad choice. In order to put a straw man like that up in front of an audience that he knows will never research it, he says some numbers out of nowhere, and he proceeds to expect us to believe that this was the worst.
When the economy reopens, jobs are added at its lowest, the unemployment rate at 3.4%. And during the Biden administration, 15 plus million jobs have been added overall to our economy.
The Dow is on track for a record close today. It touched an intraday record. It's up about 577, 1.4%. The S&P 500 is at an intraday record, on track for a record close. By the way, the 39th record close of the year, if it makes it there, which it's up 1.8%. It looks like it's going to. The NASDAQ not at a record, but it is up 2.7% today and leading. What's also interesting is the equal weight is also looking, not sure what's going on there, but the equal weight is up 1.2% and also looking to close at a record today. So it's really seeing all of these gains here today, but it's everything.
Mag, take a look at the futures this morning. Another rally underway. The Dow Industrials up 67, the NASDAQ up 43, S&P 500 up 7.25, extending into further record territory. We're looking
extending into further record territory.
It's important to note that the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones just hit the highest levels ever recorded at history, with the Dow closing yesterday over 42,000 and the S&P 500 closing over 5,700. Let's hear it from CNBC.
Oh yeah, look at that. And now it's higher. Yeah. And obviously we've got an S&P. Carl, that's a new record, right?
Oh, the S&P?
Yeah.
This is an all-time high.
And I think probably for the Dow as well, right?
Moments ago, the numbers are in. The September jobs report is, well, really freaking good. Yeah. CNN's Julia Chatterley is with me now. Wow.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. So the expectations were around 140 to 150,000 jobs added net last month. Take a look at that blowout, 254,000 jobs added net. Also, the unemployment rate, we were expecting that to come in around 4.2%. That actually went down in the month to 4.1%. In terms of what's adding this, the food sector, we're perhaps going out and drinking more ahead of the presidential election. Who knows? That was certainly a contributor. Construction also added. Healthcare was a big gainer as well. Government jobs adding. It doesn't get better.
It doesn't get any better than this, you two. It doesn't get any better. I mean, unless you're a racist, xenophobic, homophobic, individuality lost cult member, and professional ball tickler of the dear leader, like MAGA. Because then you have to find a way to prove that you're not those things, so you make up shit like Johnny. That's what he's here for, to give that pass. That's what that economy is what Johnny wants to tell you was the bad thing. It was the lowest since Reagan, since Obama. You're lying. It was record after record after record. It's at 17 in 1 year. The lowest since when again? How do numbers work, Johnny? Do you know? I'm sure you do. But your job isn't to represent numbers. Your job is to make that look bad and somehow put all of this on a shelf to worry about later.
So much woo, folks. This is a tough way to end the week.
So markets crash over 700 points today after a bad inflation report, more tariff confusion. Oh, and by the way, Republicans really going to raise taxes? That could have done it. If this is true, this would be among the top 3 dumbest things I've ever heard.
And then you lose Maria Bartiromo.
European markets this morning also in the red, deep declines. The FT 100 down 113. But look, at this moment in time, with the market down 1,238 points right now on the Dow Industrials and the NASDAQ down 800 right now, and the market's not even open, futures indicating a very ugly opening. Now would be the time for some clarity on extending the tax cut.
We're continuing to move down. We now have the NASDAQ off 1,000 points, 5.6%. The Dow Industrials are down 1,558 points. By the way, if the Dow goes down 1,712 points, that will put the Dow in correction territory. The NASDAQ already in correction territory with a loss of 1,000 points.
There you have it, YouTube. There you have it. Do you see? Red is bad. Green is good. Only someone like this asshat can distort that, change the meaning of it, and never even mention the fact that we're in the red now, but how the green before was bad anyway. Only someone that will allow a Trump to do these 90-day pauses and destroy the economy while providing cover like Johnny will do. Let's get to his other super smart observation.
Are y'all aware that there's not a single country on the planet that allows illegal immigration? No countries in Central America or South America allow it. No illegal immigration allowed in Australia. No countries in Africa or Asia or Europe. Hell, even your liberals' little socialist paradises up in Scandinavia don't allow illegal immigration. Oh, and neither does Canada. There are 195 sovereign nations throughout the world, and not a single fucking one of them allows illegal immigration. However, I only ever hear of one country who gets told that they're evil and cruel and mean for not allowing illegal immigration into their country. And that's the United States. 194 other countries say, fuck you, you got to come in the right way. And nobody questions their right to have that sovereignty. Nobody questions their right to enforce their laws. But somehow, when the United States says, I'd like to do what the other 194 countries are doing, I'd like to be able to enforce our laws like the other 194 countries in the world, we're the fucking horrible ones. We're cruel and unusual for not allowing them to come into our country illegally. And that's completely forgetting the fact that the United States accepts both more immigrants and asylum seekers than any nation on the planet. Every year, we allow more people legally into our country than anywhere else. But we're the fucked up ones for wanting to enforce our border like the other 194 countries in the world do. Y'all get how fucking stupid that sounds, right? Did
you catch it? YouTube, you caught that, right? Did you know that no countries in the world allow illegal immigration? Bullshit, Sherlock. It's what illegal means. Nobody allows illegal anything. It's illegal. It's not allowed. The definition of the word. You fucking idiot. No, America doesn't allow illegal immigration. It's illegal. That's why Barack Obama deported more people than the Orange Man. The thing is, enforcing the borders is different from making a show to boil the bloodlust of racist, disgusting bigots who give themselves an excuse in politics and name him Donald Trump. String him up like a piñata so that all of the hatred and racist candy falls out every day. The show that he makes of deporting people to places where they don't live, the show that he makes of covering their heads, tying them up, hog tying them up, putting them on a plane where they can't even use their own seatbelt or swim if the plane goes down. The show of hatred, the show of racism, that finger-licking good stuff that you love was the difference. No one allows illegal immigration, you dummy. It's illegal. Guess where illegal immigration is the highest, YouTube? You'll never guess. Every country that borders a country that's poor or has refugees. Yeah, pumpkin face over there. Actually, you know what? Me and my son made that together. But sitting here next to Pumpkinhead, it reminds me of another one. This is one of those black MAGA, self-hating, tap dancing, yeah, massa. One of those house Negroes. You see, not the main one. That's coming later. This guy is this is what he looked like. The laugh lines and everything. I'm proud of my son. Me and my son made that together, man. But yeah, he's one of those. You know the type. You know the type. The kind that think that black 13-year-olds, black 13-year-old black kids on TikTok is more detrimental to his community than the 80-year-old orange idiot in the White House that can actually control policy. That's actually gotten rid of things like the DEI policies that have gotten black women fired all over the place. Black colleges, less funded. Black people in college, less happening. Yeah, the 8-year-old dancing on TikTok is more detrimental to his community than getting rid of the history books, the museums, the history in the museums, and the Tuskegee Airmen. Yeah, he's one of these guys. And while he's tap dancing his happy ass into $1 million, I exposed him. And I don't know how much more FAFO he could get, but I exposed him. But even more than that, it was fun because I roasted his ass. I thought you might like to see it. Everybody meet Token.
The black liberal woman has been coddled to the point where she has essentially become an infant. She has become a child, one who does not suffer the consequences of their actions, one who is consistently and perpetually made to feel okay about their terrible decisions. When you're dealing with an infant, with a child, with a toddler, you look to correct that child. However, there's still a lot of leeway as far as what that child can get away with. Well, this is exactly what has happened with the modern or the liberal feminist black woman. More than any other demographic, this is the one group who can get away with everything. And instead of having the backlash that most people should get, they are celebrated for it.
This is the one demographic that can get away with everything. And instead of having the backlash that they should get, they get celebrated for it. The one demographic you, fuckface, can think of. You token. Oh, I got time today. Let's do this. What's up, YouTube? Drill Sergeant here. And in my last video where I was flaming and destroying and dismantling ignorant, imbecilic, rent-a-cop black MAGA supporter, Someone left in my comments, actually her name was Andin916. Andin916 said, right, like how dare anyone support Trump? Check out Aquarius Wave, Anton Daniels, Moody Speaks, and I'm not going to say the rest of them. Don't go there. Don't check them out. Because I just went ahead and picked the first one, Aquarius Wave. And wow, YouTube, was I surprised at the level of ignorance we found here. This guy is a little bit different. This guy is one of the guys who actually thinks that him constantly dismantling the community, dogging them out, is somehow actually being conscious or uplifting. He thinks that he's special, not because white people like him, but they do because they pay him. And at the end, it's so good, the dirt that I got. He's being paid for sure. It's not just by the coffee, buy me a coffee link at the bottom of his link. But no, he thinks he's a musician, you know, he's an artist type, and he thinks he's being esoteric by being a dummy, an idiot. By thinking that he thinks things that no one else could have thought because all the rest of the blacks are ignorant. And he's here to teach them. Meet Token, YouTube.
These niggas trying to sign me for $1,000. Now, man, I got $1,000. What y'all talking about? I got it. I'm voting him. Nigga, I come slide on y'all block with the Glock out. Hold 16 shots, boy. Hit 16 niggas at the same time. And he came with some hollow, boy. I already know. Anything I lemon sweet, boy. I'm finna throw a switch on anything, but anything gonna be dumping, boy, on me. I need that, boy. I got that. Thing gonna be dumping.
Okay. Do we have to have this conversation again? Yes. We have to have this conversation until we no longer have to have the conversation. We have to have the conversation until there is no longer a need for it because it's no longer happening. The fact that we have a little boy acting in that way on camera shows us that there is an infrastructure, an environment, there is a culture, as we like to say, that has let him down. There's a culture that has set him up for absolute failure. And today I'm going to step away from the blame game situation, because I oftentimes point to, historic context, LBJ, etc. And I know that it is almost impossible to separate history or the past from the present, especially in our brains that need some sort of, pattern and sequence to make sense of why we're doing what we're doing right now. But I want to focus in on where we are right here, where this is the product of the quote unquote culture. A culture that I was told to protect and to preserve because I was black. They said, because you're black, not only are you not allowed to criticize this culture, but you have to endorse it and promote it. So when I was listening to the Bee Gees, Hall & Oates, man, why are you listening to that white shit for? Aren't you black? When I was acting in a certain way, man, why are you doing that white shit? Aren't you black? And so in my own psyche, I believe that to be black was to be that.
YouTube, we'll stop right there. And I'm not going to have to go too deep. He said it himself. He believes that to be black was to be that because they bullied him about the music he listened to. There's more to the story, though. That's not the only reason. Because I can tell you this, without giving away too much, I myself, as an immigrant from another country and being raised in the black culture here, I do listen to other music than all the other black folks where I came from. I had listened to people like Metallica, Helmet, AC/DC, Megadeth, Pantera. These were some of my favorite bands. As a musician, I listened to all music. Unlike him, I didn't blame my awkwardness, or straight up nerdiness on all black people who shunned me. What I did was I grew a spine and spoke up for myself. And then after doing that, I got a girlfriend. and then expanded my taste in music by having other friends and listening to hip hop, a little bit of R&B. You see, that's what humans do who are well regulated emotionally. So this is your first clue, YouTube, of the type of person we're dealing with, and I just got to keep it going.
I'm so sick and tired of all this, but black culture is jazz music, black culture is the blues, black culture is Motown, black culture. I'm talking about today, right now. Nobody cares, not in your relationship with your wife or your husband or your children, what happened 50 years ago, 40, 30, 20 years ago.
You're lying. The Bee Gees were 50 years ago. So was Hall & Oates, you awkward nerd. What you mean to say is, instead of choosing to listen to jazz, R&B, Motown, and some of the great black music that was available, you chose to listen to what you listened to, and there's nothing wrong with that. Don't come back now and say, oh, it doesn't matter about back then. No, you chose it. The music you chose from back then was also white. And instead of opening your ears and your mind to maybe listen to something else as well, you did what you're doing now. You blamed everyone around you that made you feel insecure and came up with an excuse as to why it's their fault. Say that then. Say that then. Now, after he goes on his diatribe that is completely wrong, malinformed, and absolutely intellectually incurious analysis of what he thinks is going on, I'm going to give you the truth of what's going on in the music, the culture, and what we just saw from that poor little kid who's unfortunate for sure, but from the eyes of someone who cares, not from the eyes of someone who disdains his own. Not from a racist, white supremacist, ball licker of Donald Trump. Now, let's hear what he has to say first.
This is the issue, and these are the people that are perpetuating the issue. Not just most affected. You're not just affected because it's happening. You're affected because you're the carrier of it. You're carrying the virus that is the ghetto mentality. You're a carrier. You're harboring it. And you're passing it on. He's already got a weapon. I don't know if it's real or not. I'm not going to show it in real life. But he has got a weapon on him. And, you know, somebody pulled out money out of their account. Unless he is really selling dope at that young age, he's done already.
You racist hologram of an actual black person. Do you understand that the only reason why you said that, the only reason why it's possible for you to think that this 6-year-old kid is actually selling drugs is because, like all racists, many other races see black people and black kids as older than they are. This is the second thing out of a list of many that you will produce for us today, you absolute fucking moron. The 5-year-old cannot be selling drugs. Do you know what it entails? They would steal it from him. He's not selling crack. He's 5. But you don't see a child. What you see is an N-word, older than he is. To you, his skin is thicker because it's black. This is well known. This is why many women, black women, go to the ER instead of the maternity ward. Because their experience there is horrible. Because they think they can handle more pain. This is documented. It's not me making it up. There's something called facts. And you even saying that absolute nonsense, you cookie, you are showing us what you are and who you're kowtowing to and what you believe. And I believe I know how you got that way. That's later.
It's catching on to every demographic. It's become normalized. And that's why when I speak on this, it's like, though, you know, again, oh, you're just picking on these people. No. If it's like if that virus is in a certain group of people and they're the largest carrier, first and foremost, you need to help to get as many of those people aware to be like, hey, we got to treat. And the ones who are not willing to be treated, then you got to separate. You got to separate so you don't catch it, and then make sure that nobody else catches it. So you separate completely from that. That's what's going on. It's a mental virus. As they talk about the woke mind virus, it's a mental virus that has taken over. And its basis is this victimhood mentality that allows for you to act as a child. You get away with everything without consequence, in essence. Why is this okay? Because when it's all said and done, they can just point back to the white man and say, the white man is the reason.
I'm going to make this short and sweet, and I'm going to give you a history lesson. In the early 1980s, hip-hop, as we know it, what was popular and what black people chose as their music when white radio stations wouldn't play it, was about peace, getting drugs out of the neighborhood. What's going on across the world, around the world? Run DMC, LL Cool J, I need love. What you don't know is Sugar Hill Gang was talking about what was in their communities at the same time as well. Just like all music from all cultures, that's what music does. Then, the virus that took over was called capitalism. 4 companies, music companies, oligarchies own 90% of all music on earth today. Universal Music Group, owned by white people with a lot of money, bought Radio 1 and started to push a certain kind of hip hop. Not the ones that were uplifting and talking about not getting drugs in the neighborhood and saving your community. Oh, by the way, wow, what a shock. The virus, you uncultured swine, you unintellectual, posing and pretending to be smarter than you are, was not black people's mind. That's not a virus, you racist shitface. The virus was the corporation that realized that drugs and sex and money sells. So they bought the radio station, Radio 1. They bought the biggest hip-hop label that had LL Cool J, Run DMC, and other pioneers. And alongside pushing their singles, also went ahead and pushed as much of the other stuff as they could. The same people who pushed Britney Spears in a mini skirt, getting wet with a white t-shirt on or a white button down, walking through a high school. Yeah, the same group that has Shakira shaking her booty all over the world, making billions off of her. That's the same companies. The virus isn't the black people, you racist shitface. The virus is the people who promoted the music that sold the most. Because even today, there's Kendrick Lamar. Even today, there's just as many hip-hop artists that don't talk about the same things Lil Durk and the rest of them do. Lil Durk grew up in a certain place and has the right to talk about what he sees. The second problem that I have with your statement, because of your racist vision, your biased analysis, and your intellectually incurious analysis of what you see there, is the fact that you say people act like children. While looking at a child,
to act as a child, you get away with everything without consequence, in essence.
And condemning him as if he was an adult.
To act as a child, you get away with everything without consequence, in essence.
Make it make sense, you fucking bigot. Make it make sense. You use his face and say he's part of a virus, not even a human being. What about this? No mention of this virus, that culture, this cultural virus. That bar for white kids is pretty high. How many school shootings? How many? How many mass murders? How many? Black guy? Huh? No mention of that virus in your hundreds upon hundreds of videos that I had to go through for this crap? A racist does that. White supremacy sees violence all around him, commits it every day, and has an excuse for it, and then sees one black person doing one thing violent and says, look at them, they're all violent, while never looking at himself because they're racists like you. You have never thought further than the length of your black nose for the hatred of yourself. That's a child.
You say in one breath people act like children without consequences, while you give major consequences to the actual child you're talking about, because you see him as an actual drug dealer at 5 years old, not a stupid kid doing a dumb thing. Because you're a racist piece of shit.
What's up? What's up, Pumpkinhead? Listen, we're almost 2 hours in already, and I'm only halfway done. I'm barely halfway done. So this is what I'm gonna do. We gotta cut this into two. Nobody wants a 4 or 5 hour FAFO marathon. That's what it's turning out to be. I forgot how many idiots there were this year. But it's not just that, is it? Tomorrow, November 1st, SNAP is going away. There'll be a lot of people out there hurting, and maybe they'd like to laugh. So I'd like to provide it to them. There's also information in these that you need to know. What you don't know is I got something special coming. I'm gonna do part 2. We're gonna get it out of there. But the real reason why I decided to go in and do the FAFOs again and take another look is because there's been one that's been evading us. There's been one, YouTube, that has evaded us. I did 3 parts on him, but we couldn't find him. Couldn't find his name, couldn't dig up the dirt. He was too good. Until now. I got him. So stay tuned. Part 2 is coming. We're gonna get really funny there. And then I'm gonna dig up my man, the one who's eluded us. We're gonna go over those 3. We'll call this part 3, but it's the reason why I started this in the first place. We got him, and I'm going in.
Hey, yeah, you. Before you click away to watch someone unbox a tactical toothbrush, let's talk about something real. Political Drain isn't just another content mill. We're a digital front in a very real war. Not with bullets, but with ideas, with action, and with solidarity. We pair urgent news with critical education. And we build community around actual resistance, not the hashtag kind. The kind that moves. But here's the thing. None of this is free. It isn't. Behind every video is time, labor, research, and some weird guy asking if we're gonna pay the hosting bill. And yeah, some of that money goes to things we can't necessarily say out loud. If you know, you know. Let's just say our special ops aren't Call of Duty LARPers. They're people making real moves to protect, uplift, and organize. You're not just funding a channel. You're funding a resistance network in a world where capital still calls the shots. Unfortunately, in a system built on artificial scarcity, even mutual aid has a price tag. And if we want to grow, if we want to win, we need your help. We need your help. So if you've got even a few bucks to spare, toss it our way. It's not for ads, it's not for merch drops, but for people making moves in the shadows so others can do it in the light. It's just us and you. So fund the mission, fund the fight, fund the future, because nobody's coming to save us. We save each other. That's how this works. Follow us on all these things you see here, and our link tree is in the description. Maybe even get some merch.